So this is the Garmin S62 golf watch. Now this is by far one of the most popular golf watches around. However, it comes with a hefty price tag of $499. So today we'll be playtesting it and taking through all the features and settings and just find out why everybody has to have this golf watch. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're at the golf course, and the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you wanna play golf. So you hit this button here, and then you're gonna hit play golf. Now it's gonna locate satellites. This could take up to about 30 seconds sometimes. On the S12, it takes about 10 seconds. Oh, it already found it. That's pretty quick. And then the next thing it's going to ask you is, it already knows the Ken McDonald. So you're going to tap the screen, and it's going to ask you, do you want to keep score? You say yes. And we're playing middle tees. And right there, we're on the first hole. It knows we're on number 10, which is pretty cool because, well, we're playing the back 9 today. So it automatically tells you where you're playing at. And that's a really cool new feature that this has. All right, so now that's all set up, let's go ahead and hit our first shot today and see how we do. All right, so after you take the shots, it's gonna ask you what club you use. Now there I used my driver. And now it's gonna use this information to calculate how far you hit the ball and also use it for later on for the Caddie feature, which is kind of cool. So we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so on that last shot, it's asking me what I hit, and I actually hit a hybrid. And now it knows that how far I hit my hybrid, which is pretty cool. I love those birdies. Now, what's really cool about the Garmin S62 is that it automatically knows when you're on the green. So it automatically knows when to keep your score. So what you do to keep score is you push the up or plus or minus buttons. And here I got a birdie. And then you hit next. And then it's gonna ask me how many putts I had, and I had 1. I hit next. And then it's gonna say, did I hit the fairway? And I went straight. And did I have any penalties? And I said none. And then we're good to go, and we're on to the next hole, which is a phenomenal way of just being able to keep your score really quick without having to worry about it. And what's nice about the S62 over the S42 is that it actually buzzes when you're leaving the green to remind you, hey, keep your score. So that's a really cool new feature. Another cool feature is the view green feature. So what you're gonna do is hit the action button, and then hit view green, and then you really use your finger to pinpoint exactly where the pin is. Now it's right about there, and once you're done, you just back out of it, and you're done. So some of the cool new features of the Garmin S62 is when it happens when you hit the action button. So if you hit the action button, here you can see the view green. Now the Ask Caddie feature is a new feature with the S62. Now after 5 rounds of golf, it's gonna start telling you what clubs to use based on your prior performance. So I haven't done that yet because this is still a new watch, but that's a really cool new feature that the S62 has. Change hole, here you can change whatever hole you're on. To back out, hit this bottom button. Scorecard, you can change your scorecard. PinPointer is a new feature, which is you tap PinPointer and it shows you how far the pin is and the direction it's at. Now this is great for behind some trees or a hill and you can't see. This is a really cool feature for players like you and me who can't hit it quite straight in the fairway every single time. You back out, you hit the bottom button. Once you come to the Garmin app, it'll tell you what the wind is that day, so how it could affect your gameplay. This shows your round info, your last shot, club stats. Once you have enough information, it starts showing what your clubs and what they can do. Save location. Sunrise and sunset's a cool new feature that was on the S42 as well. It shows you what time of sunrise and sunset was. And those are all the features with the action button during golf play. So the top 13 is how far we are. Now we're going to go ahead and measure shot feature, see how far I hit this drive. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I hit that drive 223 yards, as you can see from the top number. So that's really cool how the shot feature works to show you how far you hit the ball, and it works every single time, so I really like that feature. So right now it's showing that we're 136 yards from the pin. It looks like the pin's more to the front, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit that button, hit view green, move it down to where I think it's at, hit enter, and now we're gonna see, now it's actually about 129 to the pin. It's about the right yardage, so I'm probably gonna use a 9-iron here. So it looks like the watch is dead on. I even played the right club, but we're next to the pin. Let's see if I can birdie this hole. Grandma, cuida. Par. Well, parred that. Man, I gotta work on my putting. Let's go on to the next hole. So looking at the display, the top number shows you what hole you're on, which is number 15, and this shows you the par. Now the top big number, the 506, that's to the back of the green. The 482 is to the center of the green, and the 480 is the front of the green. If you tap the hole itself, what you're gonna see is gonna show you any kind of hazards that's in the way, right? So right now it's showing that there's a bunker to the left at 200 yards to hit right before it, and 215 to hit over it. So that's kind of like the sweet spot. Now if you scroll down and tap the down arrow, it shows you 468 to the front, that's the front of the green, 459. So here's a rough, tells you where the rough is here. Back is 447 and front's 441. Now you also can see a lake there. This is a really cool new topo map system that they have that the old S482 didn't have. Now it's saying there's water in the back. Now it's highlighted in red. If the layup, it's 340 to be the sweet spot right in there. And you look again, there's water to the left. Now to hit the front of the water is 265 and the behind the water is 379. So you're gonna wanna hit right on 260, 265 to play up before that lake. So that's a really cool new feature. Just how more accurate this is and more precise than it was with the S42. So the 3 buttons on the side, this is the action button, this is the settings button I would call it, and then this is the back button. So if you hit the settings button, it shows you like do not disturb mode. You can lock the device. That's a wallet if you want to use your like an Apple iPay kind of thing, and then your settings. If you want to go into settings real quick, I'm going to show you guys. So what I like to look at is the watch face. So it's a really cool new feature. You can actually change the watch face. So what you do is you just kind of swipe up and down to whatever watch face you want, and once you're happy with it, just tap it, and that's okay. Another really cool feature too is like as you see right now, you can kind of see on the map that little white triangle. That's where we're at. Now the S42 didn't have that, so it's actually showing you exactly where you're at on the course, which is a cool new feature because now when you're not quite sure it's ahead of you and you lose your bearings, you can actually see exactly where you're at. So that's a really cool new feature. If you tap the screen again, you can see the bunkers and whatever else. So right now, the GPS watch showing 122 to the flag. Now, I'm gonna use my trusty rangefinder that I know is accurate to see how close this really is. $127, right on the money. So right away I can tell you that I love the way it sits on my wrist. It's not too big. Now it's a little bit bigger than the S42, but it fits just right. It doesn't really block the sensation of movement. I like how it has 3 buttons now. Now the S42 had only 1 button, which I thought was pretty cool, but having a dedicated back button and settings button is so much nicer than having only used 1 button and then only using your fingers to keep on scrolling. So once you're done with the round, what you're gonna do is you hit the action button, and then you're gonna scroll up till it says end round. And I got a +8 today, 44, not too bad. Now you can save the score, and now the score is saved. Now this will show up on your Garmin app. So when you're not in golf mode, the Garmin S62 does function and act like a real watch. Now this is the normal watch face, and if you want to go ahead, you swipe up and it'll show you other notifications. So once it's paired with your phone, it's going to give you notifications. And quite honestly, I don't really want to do that. When I play golf, I want to be kind of left alone so I can focus. So you can turn that off in the settings feature. It has your schedule there. Now here it says my sunrise and sunset. Now a cool new feature with the Garmin S62 is the heart rate feature. Now the S42 didn't have this, neither did the S12. So with the S62, it gives you your heart rate while you're playing, and also your steps. Now the steps was also part of the S42, so it's kind of cool that they kept that. Here it shows my last round I played. I got +8 at Ken McDonald. The weather today is 90 degrees and it's going to be 99. So it's kind of cool because it functions as a multi-functional watch. I'm so impressed with the Garmin S62 watch. It's chock full of features, and I just can't believe all the things it can do. It's definitely an upgrade over the S42. I can finally see why this is the most popular golf watch around and why everybody's buying it. Now, if you guys are looking to get a Garmin S62, then check the links below to our friends at playbear.com. They're huge supporters of the show, and they sent us this S62 to check out. If you guys want to see what we think of the S42, check out this video right here, and I'll see you in the next video.